can't stop muting like this.
I know, brother.
In a row.
I know. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Lieutenant Governor Guadagno, Senate President Sweeney, Speaker Oliver, all the members of the legislature. I take my constitutional powers and responsibilities seriously, as I know all of you do. When there are pressing matters that I believe must be addressed, it is my responsibility to call our legislature into special session. Giving the certainty of tax relief to our citizens and making our state more competitive with our neighbors in job creation today will allow us to put more New Jerseyans back to work this summer. What could be more important for us to do today? Now, I know it's been a long year, and I know over the last few weeks, each of you have been working hard to bring this legislative session to a successful conclusion. And we did many great things together. But there is one greater thing left to do. Lock in tax relief today that will help to create new jobs tomorrow for the people of New Jersey. Over the last 2 years, we've done something pretty unprecedented, not just for New Jersey, but for our country. Despite our differences, we've managed to buck the conventional wisdom and actually get things done. Now, that doesn't mean we haven't disagreed. But in the face of those disagreements, we've shown that you can fight, you can argue, and then you can still compromise and get things done. You can do it when you decide not to care when the pundits, the media, and the rest of the world tells you things have to be done in a certain way. In fact, when they tell you it has to be done in a certain way, it's pretty much a guarantee that we should do the exact opposite. New Jersey and its people have never been one to blindly do what they're told to do. Our work over the last 2.5 years is proof of that. Yet there are some who want to play politics as usual with this issue. Some believe that the old Trenton games that Democrats and Republicans have played over the years should be our game plan on this issue today. I reject that approach, and so do many of you. Let's not give in to the ordinary. Let's continue to provide bipartisan leadership. Now, just this year alone, we've accomplished some landmark reforms for New Jersey, together. We did it because in the end, it didn't matter who the pundits say won or lost the political day. It mattered what we got done for the people of New Jersey. Now, if you had told the old-time political players from this town in January that this legislature would pass bipartisan teacher tenure reform for the first time in 100 years, they would have rolled their eyes. But together, we defied expectations. And because we worked together, we put the substance of the issues first. And now, a significant tenure reform bill sits on my desk. When I spoke about the need to change our drug rehabilitation system, based on the principle that everyone deserves a second chance and every life is precious, we put principle ahead of politics. We work together to save lives and to make sure that people who need a helping hand get it. The result is that mandatory drug rehabilitation for nonviolent offenders is now a reality. The July 1st deadline for reforming our higher education system was deemed arbitrary and unachievable by members of the chattering class. Couldn't be done. So what did we do? We proved them wrong again. The result is a historic reorganization of our higher education system that not only improves the system, but also makes us more economically competitive. Our state's future, and the men and women who come here and who will stay here to seek an education and a quality, good-paying job are better off because of our bipartisan accomplishments with this reorganization and our higher education bond initiative. Where other leaders failed over the last 30 years, we succeeded and made it happen together. Since the beginning, we've made the tough decisions together in a fiscally difficult environment to achieve historic pension and benefit reform, to cap property taxes so that New Jersey homeowners saw the lowest increase in property taxes this past year in 2 decades, and to provide critical tax relief for job creators to invest, expand, and come to New Jersey. Whether it's accomplishments of the last 2.5 years, any of them, we've proven one thing. If we can make it happen in New Jersey, real leadership can make it happen anywhere. So now's not the time to stop the progress of the last 2.5 years. Now is not the time to change course and to reverse our hard work. This is a moment, but it's not a moment where we should take our cue from Washington, D.C. and begin emulating the politically shameful performances that we see down there. Washington, D.C. has been paralyzed because people talk at one another and not to one another. No one stops for a second to think about how what they fail to do today will lead to the failure for our citizens tomorrow. Instead, it's just a constant fight to see who wins the next 24-hour news cycle. Is that really who we aspire to be here in New Jersey? I say no. Here in New Jersey, we aspire to talk to each other. We aspire to like the people we work with across the aisle. We aspire to take the time to figure out how to reach a place of compromise to improve the lives of our citizens. So let's do exactly that today. We believe that the people of New Jersey deserve a tax cut. Now, I've used my veto authority on the budget you sent me to create a $650 million surplus. Can't we afford to send just 1/3 of that surplus back to our citizens and to give them that guarantee today? I say yes. We have the money available to fund a tax cut that gives relief to middle-class New Jerseyans. We can accomplish this before you leave this building today. To show you my commitment to compromise, I have today conditionally vetoed a bill that would make New Jersey less competitive, and have instead turned it into a law that would give middle-class New Jerseyans a tax cut. And I did it today, not with my own proposal that I presented to you in January, but based upon a compromise plan presented by Senate Democrats, one supported by Steve Sweeney and Jeff Van Drew, one campaigned for by Loretta Weinberg. Now imagine that. A tax cut plan endorsed by Sweeney, Van Drew, Weinberg, and me. Now, let's not let a moment that comes with the frequency of Halley's Comet pass us by. A bipartisan tax cut plan is on all of your desks right now. Let's show our state we can work together and finish the job before we leave for this holiday weekend. That was all for you, Loretta. Because this isn't about whether I win. And it's not about whether Steve wins. It's not about whether Sheila wins. It's not about whether any of you win. It's not about us. It's not about polls or conventions or speeches or TV sound bites. It's about the people of New Jersey. It's about them winning. It's about their families winning. It's about the family paying the bills on time and saving every penny to make sure they can go away to the shore this summer. It's about the young couple wanting to put down roots in the community and buy their first home. It's about the single mom in Camden doing everything she can to make sure her kid goes to a good school. So I ask all of you today, what are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? We're better than this. I know we are. I know you know we are. I know because we've proven it, not by what we've said over the last 2.5 years, but by how we've acted. I know by what we've accomplished together. Our state is a better place because of what we've done. And our people can feel it. So let's not stop now. We know that we have the means, after the years of shared sacrifice, to give the people of New Jersey relief. They trusted us when we said this would be hard and that we needed them to step up and join us in the sacrifice. And they did exactly that. And they trusted us again when we all said that this year they would share in the benefit and see a tax cut. We cannot let them down when they've trusted us this far. Now, you sent me a budget this past week that was enacted with only Democratic votes. You refused to negotiate a budget with me. So, this budget is your budget. Now, you used my revenue projections to spend on programs throughout the state. Now, if my revenue projections were good enough for your spending, why are they not good enough for the people's tax cut? Now, this makes no sense to me, and I can assure you it will make no sense to the taxpayers of New Jersey either. You cannot have it both ways. New Jersey has stepped back from the fiscal cliff it was teetering over when we were faced with closing $13 billion in budget gaps in my first year, with billions of dollars of wealth leaving the state, with thousands of lost jobs for our citizens. Today, we have a balanced budget with a sound surplus. We've added nearly 85,000 private sector jobs since February of 2010, seeing the best year of private sector job growth in 2011 in over a decade, and with 2012 already on pace to be even stronger. Our 12-month job increase was the 6th highest in the nation, and we're seeing housing sales, car sales, and personal income increasing at higher rates than the nation. We're seeing this New Jersey comeback because of the determination of the people in this room and because the people we work for have given us their faith and trust. Now's the time to accelerate the New Jersey comeback, not reverse course and take a step backwards. We owe it to the people who went out on a limb and trusted us to give them the certainty of tax relief today, not some vague promise of tax relief in the far-off future, which they fear, rightfully, based on the failures of the past, will never reach their wallets. Let's give them a guarantee today. A future in New Jersey that will include 3 years of taxes falling, not rising. I'm the governor. And while it's not a bad title, it's just also a guy from New Jersey, a father, a husband, and a son. Same goes for each of you in this room. That's who we all are at the end of the day, when you strip away the titles, the offices, and the cameras. We know that when we leave this chamber, the stakes are high. Not the political stakes for each of us, but the real life stakes for the fathers and mothers, husbands and wives, children and grandchildren, sisters and brothers, who wake up each day just trying to make a good living, to provide for their families, and to be happy. So I ask you again, what are we waiting for? I asked all of you to come here today. Showing up today means you understand your constitutional duties as well. Now let's open the board. Vote for a middle-class tax cut and show that bipartisanship is alive and well in New Jersey. When I first became governor, I talked to all of you about coming to the center of the room. Coming to the center of the room from our partisan corners to try to fix the problems that were plaguing our state. Well, I've come to the center of the room today, and I agreed to the Democratic Senate tax plan. Now, will you join me? Will you act today to guarantee a summer of tax relief, job competitiveness, and increased confidence in state government for our citizens? I am ready. Are you? So I'll leave this chamber full of hope that you will put aside politics and join me in leading our state to a better tomorrow. I thank you all for your dedication, for your respect for me and my office, and for your time. To all in this room and to all of our citizens, let's head to the shore now and enjoy a happy and more prosperous 4th of July. God bless you and your families. God bless America. And God bless the great state of New Jersey.